Good afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV Current. I am Mauri Rabida Lawal. For start the headlines. Shetima to represent Nigeria at BRICS Summit in South Africa. We won't tell lies to defend government, Information Minister. Invading Niger is declaring civil war against northern Nigeria, El Rufai. FG vows to tackle food insecurity. And on sport, Amushon begins 100-meter hurdles title defense today. The news in detail. Vice President Kashim Shettima will leave Abuja for Johannesburg, South Africa, Monday to participate in the 15th BRICS Summit of Heads of Government. BRICS is an acronym for a group of 5 major emerging and developing economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The Director of Information Office of the Vice President, Mr. Olusola Abiola, disclosed these in a statement on Monday in Abuja. He said Shetima will join the business and political leaders across the world at the summit slated for the Saturn Convention Center in Johannesburg from August 22nd to 24th. Abiola said the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, Brazil's Luiz Lula da Silva, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi would attend the summit. 73 dignitaries, including the Secretary General of the United Nations, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, and the President of the New Development Bank have also been invited. The summit is expected to deliberate on issues on trade and investment facilitation, sustainable development, innovation, and global governance reform. It will also continue its outreach to leaders from Africa and Global South as it focuses on global geopolitics, trades, and infrastructural development. Vice President will be accompanied on the trip by some senior government officials, and he will return to the country at the end of the week, the statement reads. Moving on to the next story on the national news. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has made a promise to Nigerians. He said that the ministry he heads will not sell lies to defend the government. Addressing reporters after being sworn in, Idris said they will be transparent and truthful while giving out information. Aside from stating that the ministry would own up where it errs or make any mistakes and try to adjust where necessary, he added that national orientation would be a core aspect of the government. Hence, in a matter of days, we would roll out our plans to all Nigerians. The new minister went on to ask Nigerians to shun fake news and always clarify issues before taking it out to the public. Ex-Governor Nasir El-Rufai has warned President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that if ECOWAS troops launch a military attack on Niger, it is a declaration of civil war against northern Nigeria. Mr. El-Rufai, who has been publicly silent on recent political development in Niger and ECOWAS, reactions gave this warning in a tweet on Tuesday morning. Information as ECOWAS beat the drums of war. I recall the 1970s rock classic by Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, because a war within our sub-region is a war between brothers. Indeed, the people of Niger Republic are one, and the same with those living in northern Nigeria. As ECOWAS beat the drums, he added that indeed the people of Niger Republic are one, and the same with those living in northern Nigeria. Let us bend, therefore, over backwards to avoid this civil war between brothers. Mr. El-Rufai's warning comes after he fell out with Mr. Tinubu over a ministerial appointment, weeks after ECOWAS charged its troops to be on standby to restore constitutional order in Niger, following the ouster of President Mohamed Bazoum by members of his presidential guards in July. On August 10th, at the second extraordinary summit on the socio-political situation in the Republic of Niger held in Abuja, ECOWAS President Omar Aliyu Toure gave a directive for the regional bloc forces to be on standby to attack the beloved country. Mr. Tinubu, the ECOWAS chair at the summit, pointed out that the ongoing political crisis in the Niger Republic was a threat to the stability of Nigeria and other West African countries. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, on Monday assumed office and vowed that the federal government will ensure that it feeds the Nigerians and export food to earn foreign exchange for the country. He said these were the target of his team, stressing that Nigeria had the potential to achieve the set goals. Kyari spoke at the headquarters of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in Abuja during a brief reception organized by the ministry for him and the Minister of State Aliyu Abdullahi. He said, "We know the challenge that we face now. The hunger is one of the big problems that we have in this country. When I say hunger, it also means food, and there are challenges to food security. Insecurity is one of them. Flooding is another. There are other many issues." For me and my colleague, the Minister of State, and even state governors, the biggest hope that we have is still political will, driven by President Bola Tinubu. I think we have a big challenge, and it is not insurmountable. Our target is not only to secure and feed the country, but also to export food, which we have that potential, and it is just there. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, who accompanied the minister to the ministry, said Nigeria need long and medium-term plans that were sustainable to address food insecurity. He said the country should invest in commercial agriculture and adopt modern agricultural techniques such as irrigation, green technology, among others. Therefore, the only alternative we have is to invest in commercial agriculture, modern agriculture, irrigated agriculture, green technology, emerging technology, and so on. That is the only solution. Our population is growing in quick geometric ratio while our food supply is dwindling. Unless something is being done, we shall never get rid of this problem, Zulum concluded. Another Chibok girl, Mary Nkeki, 27, has been rescued by troops of Operation Adenke Theater Command. Nkeki, who was rescued on Monday last week, said she was married to a repentant Boko Haram terrorist she identified as Adam. The Chibok girl was rescued by troops of the 81 Task Force Battalion at Dikwa during an operation into the terrorist cliff. The theater commander, Operation Adenke, Major General Gold Chibusi, told these men Monday that Nkeki is number 55 on the list of the abducted Chibok girls. While in captivity, she was forcefully married to one Adam, a Boko Haram terrorist. Since her rescue, she has undergone thorough medical examination in our medical facility. Equally, she has been adequately resuscitated and will be handed over to Borno State, he said. Nkeki, in an interview with journalists after she was handed over to the Borno State Ministry for Women Affairs, officials said that she gave birth to 2 female children for Adam, who later died. When she was asked if she would get married, she said, "I already have a husband. I am married to Adam. We fled from captivity together." She said she and her husband Adam repented from insurgency and fled the terrorist enclave at Dikwa Axis and reached a point where the troops rescued both of them. However, since her rescue, she was separated from Adam, who information gathered was taken to a repentant insurgents camp. Mary is the 16th girl rescued by troops in recent months. On sports, world champion Toby Amushon will shake off the trauma of our run with the Athletic Integrity Unit (AIU) as she begins the phase of a World 100-meter hurdles title today in Budapest. The reigning world and African champion was cleared last Thursday by the AIU to compete at the World Athletic Championship from a violation of the anti-doping rule. Drawn in lane 4, Amushon will file out amongst other title cashiers by 6 p.m. at the National Athletic Center in Budapest, Hungary. The reigning African, Nigerian, Commonwealth and Diamond League champion will be seeking to be one of the 4 automatic qualifiers for the semi-finals. At this stage last year, Amushon started a campaign to immortality with a 12.40 African record before smashing the 12.20 world record set by Kendra Harrison in 2016 with an incredible 12.12 run. The sprint hurdler completed an astonishing run with an historic gold medal in the final, running a wind-aided 12.06 to become the first Nigerian world outdoor champion. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Shettima to represent Nigeria at BRICS Summit in South Africa. We won't sell lies to defend governments, Information Minister. Invading Niger is declaring civil war against northern Nigeria, El-Rufai. FG vows to tackle food insecurity. I want to reunite with Boko Haram husband, Chibok rescued girl. And on sport, Amushon begins 100-meter hurdles tied to the fence today at Budapest, Hungary. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Mo Rire Rabi Lalawat. Good afternoon.